G'day, this is Captainoob, and this is a Bullpup scout rifle. This weapon is based on a real-life firearm called the Keltec M43, which is a prototype Bullpup weapon that was advertised to be a Bullpup done right. It's an American-made weapon that was first designed around the year 2014, and what this thing brings to the table is its powers of ambidextroism. So when you fire this thing, the cartridges will actually be ejected out the bottom here, presumably through there, which allows you to use this thing ambidextrously without having to change the ejector port or anything like that. So, yep, Bullpup done right. That's cool. Now, players of Battlefield 4 might recognize this thing slightly, as it is the little sister to the RFB, which was a big DMR firing full-powered 7.62 NATO cartridges. This one's only little though. She's only firing the intermediate 5.56 cartridges out of the 20-round magazine, but I'm sure that'll get changed. This thing has custom animations, but the sounds I found are that of the vanilla game, which are perfectly fine and acceptable. I like those. They're fine. It's good. So with all of the arguably irrelevant real-life stuff out of the way, let's take a look at what Dak's first assault rifle has for us in attachments. And don't worry, it was a standard receiver the entire time. Don't worry about it. So first of all, we've got the receivers. And just like your standard assault rifle in the vanilla game, this thing can be tuned to being automatic or being semi-automatic. There's the advanced receiver right there. It's already boasting 129 damage, which I believe is better than the vanilla game assault rifle, so hooray, good start. Similar fire rate though. I've got a short barrel on right now. We could make that standard. This one will give me better hipfire accuracy, but it'll cut down on the range, so we'll throw a long barrel there. 191 range is far more respectable for a rifle type weapon. Next, we've got the stocks. You can have a full stock, a light stock, which will give you some sort of makeshift foregrip on it, a gunslinger stock, which has a bag on the side for presumably gunslinger supplies. You've got a recoil compensating stock, which seems to be putting a little bit of padding there. Oh no, it changes the foregrip to a more recoil absorbing foregrip, you understand. And a marksman stock, which has a cute little bipod and some sort of cheek rest there at the front. I forget the actual term for that, but we'll go with cheek rest. But this thing being automatic will cut down on the recoil as much as we possibly can with a recoil compensating stock. We've got a magazine here, 20-round magazines as standard, but you can have medium magazines with quick eject variants of those, and a large magazine, which is a big casket magazine. It'll cut down on our reload speed, but having an extra ammo capacity allows for sustained fire. Pretty simple stuff right there. Next, we've got iron sights, or sights in general. So there's a standard sight, so you can have glowing sights, which gives you a little bit of a glowing point there, which is, I think, is quite good actually. You've also got a holographic sight that'll take off the little front post and the rear iron sight there. And yep, it's just more of these DAC attachments which work pretty well with this thing. It looks cool with a combat scope, I'll say. And there's a short scope, which I'm not sure what the difference between these is. Perhaps I'll explore that off camera. But if I found out that any of these like proper vanilla game TV looking scopes, which will actually have these scope keywords, then I might consider using that for, say, ooh, that's a varmint rifle scope. That's cool. Using it for a sniper class, a sniper status, semi-automatic version of this thing. There's also that cool thermal scope, which I haven't really explored that much, but it might make its return at some point today. Let's go for just a standard holographic sight there. We'll get the one that's slightly closer to the shooter's eye. I feel like that's going to make it slightly easier to sight targets. And you've got a muzzle attachment, so you can have a flash hider, which will increase your range. Compensator for recoil control will cut down on your range. Same with the muzzle brake here. There's also a muzzle booster for improving fire rate. I love this attachment point because it makes it a little bit less obvious to choose either nothing at all or a suppressor, because reducing your range when there's not a lot of recoil with these weapon mods, well, not too much of a easy pick there, or not too much of a choice. The suppressor boosted by Ace Operator gives us 162 damage, which is very, very good. We've also got an option for a legendary effect provided by a legendary modification, so we'll skip that. And you can change the color of furniture. You can have tan, green, wood, or stealth, which makes it all dark and black and super stealthy. This thing's got a suppressor already, so we'll throw on the stealth furniture. And I'm thinking, looking at this thing, it looks a lot like the Red Eye Assault Rifle from Fortnite. So I don't know, should I be embarrassed that I've got to the point where I'm recognizing weapons from seeing them from Fortnite first? Probably. And you've also got an accessory here, much like other DAC weapons, a flashlight, laser sight, in the recon laser, or a Vats targeting module are here for your choosing. This one increases Vats hit chance. Let's go for the laser sight, which track targets. It's kind of a stealthy weapon. You can use it for scouting as well. I don't think that actually impedes your stealth at all, so it's a nice little thing to have. But anyways, there's our stealth commando version of our Bullpup scout rifle. Let's talk about getting these things, and maybe there's a unique out there that we'll find. This weapon is injected onto level list post level 25. You'll find it in shops, on Brotherhood of Steel members, and on Commonwealth gunners. And I'm going to Claire's all the time, so maybe I could chat to this stupid clanker about some, I don't know, advertisement opportunities here. But 139 caps for this thing is pretty good. Granted, we are full up on charisma and the buying and selling perks, but that's fairly cheap and very reachable even for players that have just hit level 25, so it should be a pretty easy thing to get. I think the limiting factor early on will just be getting enough ammo to actually feed this thing, and perhaps modifying it with the higher tier gun nut or science perks. I don't think there's a science perk involved, but you get the idea. First unique rifle is located just between Somerville Place and Vault 95. You'll find this bunker on the hill. Just keep in mind that you might find a sentry bot in this little cage here, but he's already been dispatched a very earlier time. And what you want to do is go inside here. You'll find the rifle there. Now, you will require advanced lockpicking to actually get in there, because there is no other way to get inside here. There's no other options of infiltrating this bunker. There are no giant openings for you to possibly crawl through it all. You have to go through the door. So do it. And once inside, pick up Sentinel. Yep. Does what it says on the box. Got the Sentinel legendary effect. Fun fact, it's actually called the Titan's legendary effect on the armor in the games and some of the mods. But yeah, that's pretty good. Looks like a sniper status version, so that'll fill that role. And when you open this thing, this will open up. So if you want to make this fight easy, just put a bunch of mines right there and let the sentry bot run right into them as it exits the compound, and then you'll be laughing with XP. The next unique is located on top of a highway overpass that is overlooking Quinty Quarries, which, if you've got the Vault-Tec Workshop DLC, it's Vault 88, right? So we're here at Neponset Park, and the idea is to get all the way up to the top of this, and the way you want to do that is, well, you want some flight abilities. You want a jetpack, use that. If you've got a grappling hook, use that. But you want to get up to the top right here, you understand. So hoist yourself up and then run along the overpass, and you'll eventually find some dead idiot somewhere, which is somewhere along here. Yep, there he is. Over here, you'll find some dead gunner. You throw him overboard, and he's got Heat Seeker, which has the Nimble legendary effect, also a thermal scope, so we'll use it on that one. And we've got a rapid auto receiver suppressor full. Okay, that's an interesting approach there. We might yeah, you know what? Let's use that in that role. We won't change too much, except for maybe adjusting some of the receivers and stuff here just to give it a little bit more bite. But yep, that's it. It is finally time to begin shooting people. Here is our Bullpup Scout weapon in first person. We've already seen this holographic plenty of times, but in first person looks pretty cool. There's the reload animation, by the way. If we've seen that before, I can't remember exactly which weapon from, but it works pretty well for this. Take a quick look at third person. It looks like this. Pretty neat. Fits right in with the Fallout aesthetic, I think. Here's the second one that I made. This one's sniper status, suppressor, advanced receiver with a medium scope. Little bit of recoil to contend with, but it sort of centers up perfectly by the time you've pulled the trigger again anyway. Or rather, the camera just sort of jerks down to make it so that you're actually aiming where you want it to be. It sort of cancels that visual input of recoil. Here is Sentinel with a long scope without a suppressor advanced receiver and a big old muzzle brake on the front just to control that recoil a little bit. It's probably about the same, although this has got a bigger magnification, so it's going to be exaggerated slightly more. And lastly, we've got the Gobi version. That's what it says in the mod thing. Anyways, so this thing, I've taken the suppressor off. It's still got the short barrel and not medium scope, thermal scope, but it's got the muzzle booster on the front now. So yeah, it's going to be firing pretty fast. proper bullet hose, waste of bullets spec version, but you know, we want a rapid receive with the muzzle booster to get as fast as we possibly can. Let's begin shooting, shall we? About the amount of power that I expect out of a 5.56 shooting weapon. If we're a little bit more careful with our aim, I'm sure we'll be able to get easy headshots, especially when everything's moving in slow motion. Yes, that makes it easy. And as they come a little bit closer, they'll get into this weapon's optimum range, and as you saw just then, we're almost touching 600 damage with a shot when they get a little bit close, so that's pretty good. We'll say that the recoil impulse on here is a little bit, I don't know, it feels like I'm getting whiplash just from firing this, and I'm embellishing it a little bit, but it is a little bit stronger than what you'd expect. Usually the ones with COD ported animations don't quite kick as much, but I think it gives the weapon a little bit of personality. Yep, she's dead. I thought it was a sniper knockdown, but no, definitely dead. Anyway, let's go over to this one instead. So first thing I'm noticing is the slower-ish rate of fire on the automatic version, which is, you know, the extra damage you get per bullet sort of offsets that a little bit, which is good. But DPS-wise, I think this thing is fine. It's okay. And there's the recon thing showing up for the little laser sight recon thing we've got attached to it. And there's barely any recoil felt when using this thing with a reflex sight when fully automatic. At close range, of course, this thing is not going to be, you don't have to worry about recoil as much, but I feel like this thing is very, very controllable indeed. In fact, the only reason I missed then is because I suck at aiming. So let's try to remedy that by slowing time down and shooting these guys in the head, and that was a pretty good foray, I think. And I was gonna bash that guy, but I ran out of AP. I was too tired. We didn't have any adrenaline in the system to get that bash going. That's what it looks like. I think I've disarmed him somehow, and he's going the old fisticuffs. He brought his fist to a gunfight, which the fight with the gun in question was a melee fight, so good on him for that. I can commend his bravery. All right, next, let's use this version. Overkill, yes, but I really needed to know the color of that guy's eyes, and I've already forgotten, so we might have to go and check what that was. But yeah, okay, I definitely picked the wrong one for this one. But as you can tell in close quarters, this thing is perfectly reasonable because the hipfire accuracy is actually pretty good. So in some cases, I suppose you could argue that you can get away with using a big scope in this in close quarters. And even if you... I thought that was a double knockdown just then. It wasn't. I suppose if you want a giant target to shoot at, this long scope is going to make things a little bit easier for you. Sort of offsets the recoil animation if your entire sight is filled up with what you're trying to shoot at. Unfortunately, at this range, I feel like we're getting a little bit of that penalty. 95 from here. Although, I don't know, maybe that shield is tough. Shadow Wheat Bix this morning. Wasteland Wheat Bix. Good for damage reduction. The breakfast of all champions and bloodthirsty Commonwealth-based gunners. Where do you think you're going, mate? Okay. I realize this is not nighttime, but we can still utilize this night vision scope or thermal scope like it is. So, you know what? You've got a rapid receiver on this thing. Let's bring it into a close quarter situation where it might thrive. And hopefully won't bullet sponge all of these gunners. Well, that one didn't count because it had an extra half of a health bar, but still. It chopped through her fairly quickly. Damn. Perhaps if there was some sort of armor-penetrating round that I could use to offset all of that damage that they're soaking up with their armor and their general difficulty 50% slash off of damage thing that they've got going on. But regardless of that, we've done it, and, well, It was a pretty crazy one. I actually didn't check out what my health was at the end there, but I don't think I went into nerd rage at all. But as you'd expect with any automatic rifle or scope thing where you've got a suppressor and the ability to sneak and just clean up enemies using stealth multipliers, it's going to go very well. This is no exception, but when push did come to shove and I was actually getting shot at myself, this thing stood up pretty nicely. So good sign so far, nice and balanced. Okay, the mighty swan awaits, so we'll chop him down. A little bit of stealth commandoing, why not? Oh, he's being aggroed by something over there. But no more, right? I think so. Anyways, what about Vats? It's decent, it's passable. You're not going to get a whole lot of Vats shots out of a big, heavy automatic rifle with the long-ass barrel, so I think that is perfectly fine, although it's probably going to be better than any other. Maybe the muzzle boosted version that I've got is going to be slightly better in Vats, but per burst damage, not quite as strong. So with this thing's gigantic mag capacity, we can do a pretty good job at just sort of whittling him down. Although if I did want him to shoot me, I could just whip out this one and stop right there, friend. There we go. Now I just bully him on the ground. And just another knockdown just to cover that reload. Perhaps I could back off so he's not filling up my entire crosshairs. I think that was a nut shot just then. Yeah, that knocked me down too. Don't feel bad for that one. But honestly, I think it's fine how it is. So that's the power of Sniper in this game. Also, there's a ghoul somewhere in there, going to places where he really shouldn't be. He's actually going to be my secondary DPS source there. I think there's actually a couple ghouls in there. Anyways, job's almost done. That was pretty crazy. By the end there, I was just using one hand and stroking my magnificent beard. Probably not as good as Dax, but well, that one was pretty easy. A rapid pipe pistol, and I need to remove the bloody cannibal perk. Although, being a disciple, maybe you should eat questionable things along a daily routine. Don't eat people. That's how you become a Wendigo. Okay, this time, full sniper mode, and make sure we got a full magazine before we do this. We should have a good enough time knocking him down. Just keep him at bay whilst I can one mag this guy, can't I? Nice. I don't really need to articulate the exact power of Sniper because, well, you've just seen it. So I suppose we'll move on to the next target, which will be something. Okay, let's try something a little bit different. I don't usually give the children of Adam a visit, and don't tell Iris this, but they're about to all die painful, horrible deaths. Anyways, so here's the thermal scope in it's all its glory, an actual night vision. It gives you a little bit of a green tint, but it highlights all the targets like you'd see power armor do. So that's what it does. I'm actually thinking I should open with this one instead. Yes. That's a good start. See, the thing about these guys is, regardless of what level you are, they're still dangerous because your rad meter only goes up to what 1,000, and these gamma guns, unless you've got some sort of radiation suit, they're going to hurt real bad. Okay, now it is time to use this one, Heat Seeker. They even sound like Iris. That's so weird. I suppose there's only one voice, and it's the one that I use for her, but still. Alright. Well, that didn't last very long. I don't know, I thought that'd be a little bit more... I thought there'd be more Children of Adam sitting around, but maybe there's like an immersive Children of Adam place mod, which adds like 100 dudes for me to fight. Now that would be crazy. Or maybe I could do it myself. That turret is in the water. Tough turret. Also, third person reload. It happens. I haven't shown it off yet, but watch closely. Very good. Good animations. Okay, so I think that'll do. So that there was the M43, the prototype, or the Scout bullpup rifle. I'm going to get out of these rads. It's unhealthy standing here. But if you are impressed with this weapon, would like to see it in your game, then I'd highly recommend it because, well, anything that Dak makes is very good quality. It's worth downloading. So link will be in the description. And I believe I was scrolling through the Nexus comments just to see if anyone was bitching and moaning about it. And as expected, no. A couple of idiots here and there, but most of it was pretty positive reception to this mod, and I think there's going to be an Xbox port of this at some point, so be on the lookout for that one, and if I find one, I'll be linking it in the description here as well. So if you want to see it in your game, check it out. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Why is the Pip-Boy light backwards? Where exactly is that stored? That's weird. Anyways, see ya!